Um, it's interesting. Honestly, I've been collecting a couple of things and thoughts throughout the day just to share with you a little more streamlined what's going on. And again, like just to highlight, I'm doing this for myself as an accountability system and for whoever interests themselves in the subject of distraction and how to get rid of it and what actually happens to someone if he or she actually gets rid of distractions for some time and what's going to happen with you. So first of all, I noticed like how many screens throughout my day are literally in my face. That'd be in the gym that I work at. It can also be like at home. It can be in a city mall or any place throughout the city itself. You just see a ton of potential distractions. And today I literally had a rough time noticing all of these at once, and also noticing how it like kind of feels as if I'm soaked in into every single screen that I see. And again, of course, I am super biased at this point because since my focus is on distraction and how to get rid of them, try to bypass them, I notice, of course, how many of them there are, right? And so that brings me to the next subject. Try to get rid of distraction if the number one distraction is your phone. So the cell phone I actually use for work, and I used to never be that much on social media per se as a visitor. I used social media mainly for work, but now seemingly suddenly I notice how I like to spend some random time on my phone doing whatever random shit, which I never did before, simply because there is nothing else that I can divert my attention to. Especially as you've been noticing in the past days when I feel trash, when there's low emotions, when I feel frustrated, angry, alone, perhaps insecure, uncertain about whatever. That's really when I notice there's a lot of it's like it soaks me into any and all diversions from and off of these experiences. Um, Another subject that I've been noticing today that I wanted to highlight as an experience is that uh, when I then notice, like, okay, so the game is not to be, and I intentionally call it a game, right? So the game is not to be indulging in random screen time, in diversions of the now. And as such, I've already noticed last week, a couple of days in, that basically everything then starts to become a diversion and distraction. And so I've then been dedicating this challenge to solely like the four major players, meaning just to recap for those who are tuning in the first time and wanted to know a little bit about it. It's basically books, ebooks as well, of course, everything that I can entertain basically at this point. Um, we're talking about TV series, some any form of screen entertainment. Now that's a freaking big ass term, right? Because everything at this point is entertainment. As I've been noticing previously at the beginning, I'm suddenly starting to watch fights as an entertainment rather than studying the fight, actually. Same goes for any other form of study. But back to the big player, social media, of course, and lastly, video games. So these have been frequently, say, things that I've been noticing myself doing that. Now, today I've been again delving into the subject as to why I've been using distractions. And I think that's a point note like worth noting, because I recognize that I'm actually going to use distractions when when I'm tired, when I want to decompress, when I notice my day was rough, when I have a lot of things going on in my mind, when I recognize that I don't want to be here, I don't want to experience the now, when I feel like my daily business has been challenging in whatever form, when I recognize that I don't have an answer for something, or I don't want to, try to riddle a subject and try to find out how to get out of it, etc. Those are the situations when I most prominently find myself diving into distractions. That can be anything at this point, to be very honest. Previously, usually it was just me reading a book, just picking up the book, sitting on my couch, and I can just be there for hours. Like about 15 years ago, it was drugs. It was work at some point. It was certainly women and relationships. Relationships are a massive distraction. Of course, the question is also, which I wanted to talk about a little later in this video log today, what we are distracting ourselves from, because I feel like that's something that comes up frequently. Because distraction, I mean, I can distract myself from going to the toilet, or I can distract myself from eating too much food, or perhaps distract myself from negative thoughts. So distraction per se is nothing negative, but the question is what I'm trying to say, why I'm trying to isolate certain distractions right now and get rid of them out of my daily life. Anyway, so I've been noticing that these distractions throughout, the past 2 decades and more have been playing a major part. And I've been noticing another very important subject today, that basically the busyness that it cooks up, that I'm continuously doing something, right? I'm watching, I'm reading, I'm occupying myself. I'm just keeping myself busy here with small little tiny pleasure inducing elements throughout my day. And that can be work, it can be, a conversation, etc., etc. So trying to get rid of all that, what it leaves me is not being occupied, being bored at certain points, not knowing what to do. And this laziness, basically, this not being occupied, not being working, doing something, that can be very dreadful to a mind that has learned it has to always be busy unless it wants to risk being discarded or ignored. So what I'm trying to distract myself from basically is not doing anything. Boredom, this very moment where there's nothing happening, where I don't know what to do, where there's no purpose, where there's nothing that I should be, that I should do, that I should, etc. So the distractions are really, the way I noticed it so far, here to divert my attention from the now, from this moment in which nothing has to happen, nothing has to be done, nothing has to make any sense. I can just relax here and everything would be fine. It would all be good. There's no purpose, no meaning to my actions or anything here in the now. And so I'm going into the future, I'm going into the past with my distractions, right? I'm reading books, etc., etc. I'm watching series. So trying to get rid of all that gets me back into that state of momentary presence here and now. And never having learned how to navigate that actually can be super difficult, right? So that's basically what I noticed, what I'm trying to distract myself from. And then the busyness, interesting enough, another subject that I came to the conclusion today. And as you can see, my mind goes wacko sometimes, really. Like, since I don't have any, like, when I work, of course, like I do work with my clients, I work online, etc. I'm there with my business, etc. But in leisure time, right, when people would be doing leisurely, practices like watching a series, reading a book, etc., that's when I do nothing. And that's when my mind goes bonkers, because like I'm starting to wrap myself around subjects, etc. Like basically, what happens if I'm not busy? Suddenly I'm sending out a message that I'm open, that things can come my way. Where before I've been intentionally recreating a sense of busyness through all the distractions and all that trash that I'm trying to feed my mind with. And what that basically creates is a message that I'm sending out, that I'm too busy for anything new, that I'm too busy for anything but the ultimate necessary, right? And so I noticed, like, now that I'm cutting out all the distraction, I feel so open, and suddenly things are randomly happening. People are calling me, people want to work with me, projects are coming my way, where before I've been so fucking busy that nothing could ever have entered my life because there was no space. So a massive a result, a consequence of cutting out distractions is, first of all, you get shit done, things that you've been procrastinating on. And secondly, most importantly, there's space now. There's room for new projects and new things to happen and grow in your life. So I just wanted to drop that as the final part of my today's video log, checking in here, day number 8 of my 21-day detox challenge around distractions. I really hope that you could take away something from this video log. If not, no worries. There's other videos who perhaps are a little more inspirational. In any case, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to check in tomorrow, day 9. If you have any kind of thoughts to it, feel free to share them with me. I'm always happy to have a discussion about it. And in any case, have a beautiful rest of your day. It has been a pleasure to share with you what I feel, what I see, what I've experienced. Take care.